Hey you guys, so it has been 1 week since I have had a vertical sleeve gastrectomy. I was sleeved on August 1st, 2019, and it is now the 8th. So I wanted to talk a little bit about, I have notes, so I'm going to be looking over to this side a lot. So the day before my surgery, I knew it was going to be chaotic, so I tried to minimize the level of chaos so that I could be relaxed and prepare for surgery the way I should. Um, so the day before surgery so happened to be payday. So I had to run around, make sure my rent was paid, make sure that I had groceries, buy some moo-moos so I could be comfortable post-surgery. Um, so what made this the easiest to do was I don't shop at Walmart a lot, but my local Walmart now has a pickup feature. So you can actually order your groceries online and pick them up. So that's what I did. So I was able to take care of all my needs with that one stop. And then I went home and proceeded to do the bowel prep for surgery. I hear stories of people like eliminating all types of things from their bowels during this time, but I was on a liquid diet for 10 days at this point, and there wasn't really a lot in there it just wasn't a lot in there. So it was kind of painful because there was a lot of cramping. It was uncomfortable. But I would say that lasted a good 6 hours of like cramping, sensations that something's going to happen, and then nothing. So it wasn't that bad. I was prepared for it, right? Now I'm going to talk about my hospital experience. My bariatric program makes it a habit. Oh, actually, it's not just the bariatric program, it's the whole hospital. If you have surgery, they will call you the day before and tell you what time to report for surgery. I know, the day before. So they called me the day before, and they told me to come in at 8:15 to the short stay unit at the hospital. So I did that. My cousin came with me. I'm in good spirits, flicking my hair around, just feeling myself, super excited. So they took me back at about 8:45. They asked me to wipe my body down with antibacterial wipes and then put the gown on and I put the hospital socks on and all that jazz. They put an IV in me. However, the IV slipped and the anesthesiologist reinserted it. I don't know. This happened a couple times when I was at the hospital. I guess my IVs just slipped. I don't know. It was really nice to see the whole team that was going to be in the operating room before being in the operating room. Like everybody came into my little room to the side and they introduced themselves. I met the anesthesiologist, the nurses, and of course the surgeon, and talked about what we're gonna do. And I mean, obviously, I'm sure it wasn't completely necessary. I'm sure that we all already knew, but it did give me some reassurance just to know that we're on the same page. My surgeon then writes vertical sleeve gastrectomy on my stomach. Did your surgeon do that? Is that normal? I mean, hey, if it helps you remember, that's great. I don't know if that's an insurance thing. I don't know. So after all of that, They wheeled me over to the operating room, and on my way to the operating room, um, somebody said they were going to give me something in my IV to help me relax. I was thinking I'm going to get a benzo, but I was feeling pretty relaxed already, so I didn't understand why. Um, but like, I wasn't gonna argue with the guys. Okay, give me something to relax. It didn't even occur to me that it would be the anesthesia. He didn't say anesthesia. So I remember him putting the medicine in my IV and then being rolled into the operating room. I remember seeing the big lights. The lights weren't on, but I remember being there and like, this is the operating room, and lights out. Like, I don't remember anything else. Um, the next thing I remember, it was 5:00 p.m. on Thursday, and I am in a hospital room. So apparently anesthesia really kicked my ass. Um, they were done the procedure by like 10:30 or 10:15, but it just took me a while to come out of anesthesia. And if I remember correctly, the last time I had anesthesia, it took me a while to come out of it too. It just kicks my ass. um, so most people were already up and walking around at that time. I wasn't even thinking about it. I'm like, what happened? Where did they go? What happened? I woke up feeling a lot of like pressure on my bladder. And I'm like, I gotta go to the bathroom. So I get up and I try to go to the bathroom and I can't go. Meanwhile, I'm like pumped full of air, right? So my bladder is completely full. My stomach is, my chest cavity is completely full of air. I can't sit. I, I can't sit. I can't lay down. So I'm in the bathroom, like rocking on the toilet like this, trying to get comfortable. I was so uncomfortable, and I couldn't be. Apparently, sometimes after people go through anesthesia, they can't pass urine right away. So, this went on for a little while. I spent most of my recovery time in the chair next to my bed because I couldn't lay down flat. So yeah, there's that. Let's see. All right. So, the nurse had to straight cath me twice. My bladder was completely full on both occasions. So I was very uncomfortable most of the time in the hospital. Um, I didn't turn the TV on. I had actually, I was going to have my cousin bring my belongings. I didn't need them. Like, I didn't even bother to ask her to bring them because I was so uncomfortable. Like, what am I going to do? Sit here? Um, so that was not fun. Let's see. I also, when I woke up, I remember feeling very nauseated, and I was having like painful dry heaving with stomach contractions. And, you know, right after you have stomach surgery, that was very uncomfortable. Very, very uncomfortable. So that was painful. But finally, I was able to pass urine. So then I was able to drink the water that they required me to drink in the hospital. Um, but as far as pain went, um, I barely, I barely used any pain meds. The pain that I felt was more extreme discomfort, and it wasn't surgery site pain. It was more like pain from dry heaving right after surgery, or um, so it was pain, but it was just a different level. It wasn't the type of pain that a painkiller could really do anything for. The staff at the hospital were amazing. My nurses were amazing. The nursing assistant was a real trooper. She was giving me discharge instructions, and I'm sitting here dry heaving into a bag. God bless her. So all those videos that you see on YouTube of people packing the whole kitchen sink to go have surgery, it's not necessary. I left with the I went into the hospital with the clothes on my back and a very small travel purse. Um, and I left with, the same stuff. A black dress, sandals, and a small purse. That's all I needed. I was so uncomfortable. I can't even imagine trying to, relax. I couldn't. It was bad. So, I was discharged in the afternoon the next day, which was Friday the 2nd. I recovered at my cousin's house. My aunt so happens to be here from out of town as well, and she used to be a bariatric nurse. So the both of them together were very helpful in making sure that I was comfortable, that I was getting my liquids in, that I was taking my meds, and I'm very appreciative of that. I'm very grateful that I have family that's willing to help me out. If you live alone, don't think that you should do that on your own. Because I know if I was on my own, I wouldn't be taking my meds. I would just sleep and hope that I wake up and feel better and just end up feeling worse because I wouldn't be drinking anything or, you know. So I'm just really glad and very grateful to them. Also, while I was at my cousin's house, she made sure that I went on walks several times a day. She took me to my follow-up appointment. She checked my incisions to make sure they were okay and not infected. Let's see what else. I was also able to sleep on her chase lounge, which was kind of perfect for my situation because I couldn't lay down flat and I couldn't really sit up very well. So the chase lounge was like the perfect go-between. So it was a very good situation. It was ideal. So for the first 3 days out of surgery, I didn't take any pain meds at all. I didn't take acetaminophen. I didn't take painkillers. I just didn't feel like my pain warranted medication. You know? Now, on the 4th day, I decided to do something stupid and put some bags in my car. I had bought a bunch of stuff over to my cousin's house, preparing for post-surgery. So it was a whole bunch of a whole container of protein powders and foods and just all kinds of crap. So I put that, I put a couple bags in my car. I don't even know why I did that. I think I felt as though I was like making a mess of her living room and I was trying to straighten up. So I thought, well, if I take these bags and put them in my car, they won't be here taking up space in her living room. So after I was done that, my abs were hurting. They hurt so bad. So, yeah, it really hurt. So I took a pain med and passed out. That was it. And I still, like, I was paying for it the next day. So, like, don't lift stuff. They told me I'm not supposed to lift anything more than 20 pounds. And I'm pretty sure those bags were light and they weren't any more than that. But just don't lift stuff you don't have to. Okay? Don't do it. Let's see. So I came home Wednesday afternoon. I was prescribed several medications after surgery. Most of them were for GERD and acid reflux. None of them were chewable or crushed or liquid. So I am crushing my own meds. I was crushing them with a spoon, and that can get very messy after a while, especially if you're crushing all your meds like I am. So I actually purchased a pill crusher from eBay. It's basically like a stainless steel mortar and pestle type of deal, so that I can pre-crush my pills and put the powder in drinks and, you know, do what I need to do with it. The timing of all my medications is programmed into the Berrytastic app. So it's very convenient once you learn how to use it. I didn't like Berrytastic at first. I didn't understand how to use it to my advantage. So now that I understand Berrytastic, all my meds are on timers. My meals are on timers. I'm logging all of my protein. I'm logging all of my water. And I'm being very adamant about getting enough. Okay. Now I'm going to talk about how I wasn't prepared for surgery. It's kind of discouraging for me because I spent all this time online doing all this research, watching all these videos. And you know what? The mistakes that I made could have been prevented if I would have just paid attention to what my team is telling me. Okay, so the first mistake I made was that I misread the length of my full liquid stage. So my full liquid stage was supposed to be 1 week. I'm sorry, that's not right. I still said it wrong. You come home from the hospital, you're on clear liquids for the first day, and then you go into full liquids. Full liquids is a 2-week time span. For some reason, I had it in my head that full liquids was only 1 week. So I had enough protein for a week after surgery. So, I was getting really tired of protein shakes. And it was like at the point I don't even want to eat, you know what I mean? So I went to Amazon and I purchased some high protein bariatric specific cream soups. I can also take those to work with me, and it'll help me get the protein that I need so I can feel well. I also purchased some Greek yogurt. Who doesn't like a Greek yogurt, right? It's high in protein and it's not a protein shake, so I was about it. What else I was not prepared for was my period. I did hear that after having surgery, like the trauma of the surgery can kind of force women into menstruation. And I knew that was a possibility. But what I didn't understand is that being on a blood thinner while menstruating is not a good situation. So I wasn't prepared for that. I wasn't prepared with the right tools to handle that type of period. So thank God for Amazon, 2-day shipping. I was able to get like the largest, bulkiest pads. I'm pretty sure they're the biggest ones on the market. They're like the always overnights with the purple wrapper. They're huge. But they're very comfortable. And they're doing their job. So you're going to need those. If you don't have those, you're not ready. I'm just letting you know. I've never been on a blood thinner before, so I didn't realize the severity of the situation. I told you that I bought a pill crusher. Oh, that's on my notes. Okay. So, how do I feel today? I kind of feel like I got hit by a truck in my abdomen. like a Mack truck just hit me in my stomach and I went, ugh. But I'm also a bit tired. So I've been taking a lot of naps. I'm really just trying to stay focused on getting my protein in and my water. Catching up on my favorite Chinese soap opera. That's pretty much it. I can't really say I'm in pain, although my incisions kind of hurt. Excuse me. My incisions kind of hurt, but I feel like they're healing, so that's where I'm at. I could feel a lot worse. I'm okay. I'm alright. And I'm losing weight. So, hey. I don't have any regrets. I'm really glad that I did this, and I look forward to the rest of my life. I look forward to accomplishing my goals, and my body doesn't have to hold me back. It's a new sense of freedom. Thanks. Bye.